Hello.
Hi, welcome to Uncensored, Always Bet on Black with me. Hi, I'm your host, Nickey Black Butterfly Duckworth, and
And I'll
joining
be
me
your
is my
co-host.
Miss Alethea. We
Yes,
call her Lee. I say Lee a
this is
lot.
Alethea. Call me Lee.
So today, this is the new show dynamic. It'll be us two, girl power, and we plan on making Mondays and Thursdays very, very interesting. So, Lee, this is our first. How do you feel about this? Are you excited about what we're getting ready to
I'm
do?
very excited. I told you you're like busting my cherry. This is like breaking my blog talk virginity. So I'm very excited. I'm a little nervous. I'm excited.
I think it's because we have so
topic,
much information. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. It's a lot to speak on. That's why I want to know, like, where do we begin? And by the way, lovely choice of song. I was in here grooving, and I had my little sage out, and I was like, lovely day, cleaning my spirit, you know.
And I'm sitting here, and I love that song. That is one of my favorite songs because to me, it just makes you feel. It's one of those feel-good songs. Like, it just feels nice.
I love the Happy.
Happy
so
is a nice
come
song.
Along with, that one, and I also used to love that old school one. Don't worry, be happy.
Be happy. That's a good song
that was
too.
my
Maybe
thing.
we'll switch up. You know what? Speaking of happy songs, do you remember that song by the Clark sisters? You are the sunshine in my life. That was like it was an '80s song, it was like an '80s gospel song, but it was happy. Like I like happy music.
I love happy music. Let me tell you something. Although I'm not a Christian, one of my all-time favorite songs, and I guess it will stay, will be Yolanda Adams. What was it? When she sings "Alone in the Room," it's just me and you.
Open My Heart.
Oh
Open my
God, that is like
that song
my
is
only song.
Dope.
Because I never really applied it to God. I always applied it to my higher self.
And that's
like it's just me and you, me and my higher self, and I'm looking at myself.
Right.
Can I love myself? Can I hold myself? You know.
It's some songs that I listen to, and backstory. The other people know, but we can start this fresh. I am a recovering Christian. When I say a recovering Christian, that means that I was raised Christian. I studied Christianity. I went to Christian Academy. I lived in church Monday through Sunday. None of this is like made up or an exaggeration. So I have a thing, even though I don't practice any religion now. I do have a thing for certain church music because that's what I was allowed to listen to the most of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one song. It's called Who Would Have Thought I Got to Know You This Way. It's by Donnie McClurkin, and Marvin Winans is in it. And this song just makes me happy because I remember I never thought I would know myself like I know myself now. I never did.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought that I would, the way the song goes is I would just laugh at what they say. I never thought people could be happy for real. I thought that those extra happy people were freaking lying. Like, they're lying. Ain't no way in hell they're happy.
But you're not alone.
You're not that happy.
You're not alone. I mean, the reality is, even now that you've learned to retrain the brain, you see people still tell you that that's not possible, or they give you that look that, is the get the F out of here look. I don't want to hear that. She sounds stupid. I mean, honestly, people pass those memes around about the two things they can't control, which is one of them is their mouth and their thoughts, which are very much able to control. And I think that we haven't been given proper tools. In our youth, a lot of the people didn't raise us with proper tools as far as knowledge of self, things of that nature. We spent more time, I don't know. It's like we really didn't learn how to delve in, how to look at why we are attracted to certain things. We never really learned those things. People usually pass it off.
it's funny, like what we were just talking about. I'm gonna let people into our life and come of our weird conversations. How much time I spent in the bathroom and how much time I spend in the bathroom now as an adult, literally through a whole bunch of life changes. I've always been a person that went in the bathroom. I never realized, like, I remember when I was little, I would hide in the closet. But my favorite place to be was the bathroom. You know, at my godmother's house, it was it was a full bath and two half baths. And I could actually sit in the half bath and read a whole book. I remember actually getting in trouble for locking myself in the bathroom for so long. Like, I'll do that now as an adult. I'll go in my little safe haven is the bathroom. I realize that if I don't have somewhere to walk, like to go and walk and clear my mind, I feel like a caged animal.
Trapped.
I'm not okay.
Right.
Yeah, I feel
I'm the same way
that's
because
something I've always done.
I'm so introverted that I'm the same way. I went from closets to, of course, graduating to my room. And even as a mom, like, I still need my space. I do, and I don't feel bad about it because I feel we all have to regenerate our spirit. And sometimes some of us regenerate through other energies, right? So they have to be in party situations or amongst a bunch of people because that is what gives their spirit life. But my spirit only gets life by being alone.
I used to be like that.
And so
when
I have
was
to work
younger.
things out alone in order to come out anew and regenerated. That's just the way I am. It's like too many people around, I go on overload.
I was the same way when I was younger. I needed a lot of people around me. I realized after almost having a mental breakdown a couple of weeks ago. So if y'all heard the show a couple of weeks ago and I sounded creepy, that's because, as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about that today. I dealt with a bunch of serious stuff, like what, Alicia, I'm going to go a little further with what you're talking about. Because we don't learn how to work on ourselves, when we start to figure out actually how to truly work on ourselves, I kind of overdosed on working on myself and dealt with some serious, serious stuff that I didn't realize was that serious. And it's because, we look at, we break up with somebody or we stop talking to somebody, and we look at that as that's the end. When in all actuality, we have these ties to these people that affect us spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, for real. We have these mental weird connections with people. And because I worked on so much, working, I just want to be a better person, fix this, fix this, fix this, I almost went crazy. And, being my friend, you could talk more about that because I really associate me breaking a serious karmic tie with somebody to why it was that I almost had a mental break.
Well,
because
I feel like what happened was, to me, personally, you were speeding in your spiritual journey, and you needed to slow down because it was going to drive you crazy. It's like taking DMT. The brain releases DMT on its own, the spirit molecule, right? And when you're under that, you're like,
so
and
explain to people, everybody
realm,
doesn't know. Wait. What is DMT?
The methyltryptamine, which they nicknamed the spirit molecule, but it's actually a molecule that stems in the brain, and it's released during sleep, and also huge amounts is released in death. And the reason why they call it the spirit molecule is because that's where what is used when you're dreaming and you're seeing in full color and you're experiencing things that feel real. It probably is you're in another realm of existence, and that is activated by the DMT in your pineal gland. So that's why they call your pineal gland the seat of the soul, because that is your traveling mechanism. That is where you travel. At night when you sleep, you travel. And sometimes we travel far into our subconscious realm where we're working out issues, and sometimes we travel into further, like into future, and sometimes into the past. It just depends.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes
it was
we may
real
travel
scary.
Right.
That was scary. It was scary that I actually kind of lost maybe a 2 to 3 week. I'm guessing 2 weeks to a month that I've condensed down to maybe a week and a half to 3 days.
Right,
Like,
because you wasn't able to sleep.
I
And the
wasn't
lack
sleeping.
of sleep, you can't calculate days.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, how many days seem like one?
Yeah, like it's like, what do you mean? And it's like I lost track of time, conversations. I don't even know some of the. I'm like, oh God, I don't know who I talk to, because I'm hearing conversations that I have no recollection of. Like, wow. And I think that's why it's very important that when everybody doesn't have a circle like my friends, and that's the truth. And I feel bad for them because I have an amazing circle of friends. But with that being said, I think that when people are going on these spiritual journeys and, you know, working to evolve as humans, that we need to pace ourselves because it does become an addictive high of literally a natural high. Like, I've never felt so high on life, and I've done a lot of drugs. And
let me give the people an example, because they might be lost. But here's an example. You might be wondering, you know, you've heard females say, I just keep running into these ain't shit dudes, right? But they never took into account that what's happening is the energy signature they're looking for is one that abandoned them, which is probably stemming primarily from their dad.
Right.
And they're looking to mend that relationship with their dad, and they do it subconsciously by finding energies that are just like their father, which abandoned them, which means that this man is going to abandon them. You know what I'm saying? And they end up creating a pattern. So what happens is when you start to meditate and you start to sit down with yourself and really start questioning everything about yourself, well, why did I do this? But why did I feel that
talk
way?
to this person?
Right. Well, why did I get angry
person?
when, you know, and when you start to really go into breaking down who you are and why you react, and then it goes into, you might even find out, okay, well, like me, for instance, I found out through self-realization that I didn't really like my breasts fondled with because they were fondled with as a child when I was molested. And it took me a while to actually connect those dots on that's why I don't like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we do get lost in that and knowing ourselves so much so that we delve so far instead of breaking it down into sections. Every section deserves for you to make love to it. Stay in that lane for a while, knowing yourself in that lane.
Yeah, and what I did is what I was doing was playing Frogger. I was playing Frogger.
Yeah, jumping all over the place, right.
You know what? I'm going to work on this, and this is something heavy. So let me see what I decided to work on all at once. So I worked on a phobia of driving, which might seem like nothing to someone else, but for me, that was everything because it's something I didn't do. So driving longer than an hour and 45 minutes for me was like I conquered the world because I drove 6.5, 7 hours. I thought I did everything amazing. Like, what do you mean? I could drive to Africa now. Give me a car, you know?
Right.
That was a big thing for me. On the drive there, I decided that I needed to make amends with some people. Like, maybe I took this situation wrong, and I need to call this person and tell them I'm sorry. Like, you know, so now because that's something in itself. Like, instead of soaking in the fact that, hey, you drove that far, and, you know, hold on to that for about a week or two. Like, that was dope. I decided to do something else that same day, which was
like
make amends with somebody.
Okay, so what happened was you conquered a feat that you really never thought that you would, but instead of living and relishing that moment, you tried to move on to the next high just like that.
Right.
To me, your brain was
overdosing.
Overload.
Yeah, I was overdosing. Because it was like, I was okay, so I know how good it feels to do that, to overcome something that you want to. So now I want to do it again.
And again and again,
now I'm going to do this. And then it was like, okay, now I want to do it again. And I just kept doing it more, and I kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, literally, like, core deep. Like, to the point of that's when I realized I was not the nice. I always said that I was such this nice kid. I was this sweet child that the world ruined. I was a lie.
Right. You had to really delve back into those memories.
Like,
and
damn
that's why
it,
there's
I was
something.
not that
people
child
this.
that I described.
Provide a safe space for those around you, your loved ones, and then ask them and tell them there's no hard feelings, but I want to know the real, honest, genuine truth. What do you think about me? And this should help you move forward in life. Everything you're not going to want to change about yourself, but some things you might not even be aware that you're doing. You might be a bitch and not be aware of it. You know what I'm saying? You might be very sarcastic, cynical, and you're not aware of it. So it's very important for us, in order for us to grow, to ask people what they think about us, and not be so argumentative and angry if it doesn't sound like roses. You know what I'm saying? Because
you know what? That's that saying that we have, that the truth about, I'm good for this one. The truth about ourselves ain't always pretty.
It's
and
not.
I remember one time you said to me, Nick, I'm an asshole. And I'm like, no. Then you're like, look, don't do that. I'm okay. It's like, I'm okay.
Right.
Don't comfort me. I'm fine. I'm letting you know, just in case you didn't. And the funny thing is, because I was raised Christian and by Abrahamic belief system, and in case people don't know what an Abrahamic, if you don't know if you believe in an Abrahamic belief system, I'll help you. Catholicism, Islam, Christianity, Jehovah's Witnesses,
anything that
Methodist,
has Abraham in it.
Anything
Moses
that has,
and the lights.
yeah. If Abraham, Moses, and them are there, you got that. However, being raised with that type of mentality, I was taught to be one-sided. We're not taught to embrace another side. You're taught to embrace the nice side. Turn the other cheek.
Turn the other cheek.
Be nice. Right. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Where where the truth is, we absolutely need the balance of I'm comfortable being very nice, but there's also some situations in life where me being nice won't go to there. It was not insert nice Nickey.
Right.
If somebody is trying to hurt me physically, if somebody is trying to, and I need to defend myself, I don't think I'm not going to go and cross my legs and go and meditate. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to revert back to the hood ways and get it together real quick. So I didn't understand that when you would tell me, like, no, Nick, that's okay, until I realized, like, I think what kind of shifted me too, kind of pushed me over the edge, Lee, for real, is the fact that I wasn't this nice, angelic person I thought I was.
Right.
And that's the truth. I really thought I was. I did.
And so what brought you to that revelation, though? Was it your ability to open up and hear other people's opinions, or did you come on it all on your own?
No, I'm lying. I lied. Okay, no. This is what happened. A person that I needed to make amends with, I asked them to do me a favor. I said, send me a playlist. The reason I asked for the playlist is because, here goes, I can read the playlist. I learned in between here, some of the great things is I learned how to read the Matrix, like certain things in the like I can read music and get the messages through different things, which before I used to
learned how to psychoanalyze people through their choice of song.
Pretty much. Their choice of song, pretty much. Yeah, right. So I'm listening to these songs and I look at I didn't listen to the songs. I know music so well that I can go through the songs and I probably know at least 99% of them. Well, when I started to see the song selections, it started hurting me. And because I meditate so much and I've become so sensitive, and the truth is this person I had a very strong connection with them. So I felt the pain and the guilt. It was like a stab in my heart, like, holy shit, wait a minute. Let me think about this. So I asked a question, and I said, hey, when you apologized to me, you meant that. And they said I did. That right there is kind of what made me realize you are really not okay sometimes, Nick. For real. Because karmically, that made me the bad guy, if that makes sense. So where I was the victim initially, the truth is I haven't been the victim for almost 10 years, for real.
Right.
I was the asshole. You see what I'm saying?
So
like,
you was
oh,
one
shit.
of those people who have been hurt and then went on to cause pain?
I did that too. But the bad part is with this individual.
That, a protection mechanism you was using?
Yeah, but with him, I manipulated the situation.
Mm.
So where he was actually genuinely being nice, I was genuinely being a manipulator. And that's the truth.
Okay.
Like, I knew. So I would hold over. I was doing this stuff. Remember when you did this to me? You need to do this for me because remember you hurt my feelings like this. Don't forget you did this. So I'm steady bringing up, don't forget you hurt me, so you owe me. Don't forget you hurt me, so you owe me. And the truth was, with that apology, that truthful apology, because people go through traumatic situations that sometimes can jar really, and they really do have eye-opening experiences, and it's like, oh, shoot, let me change my life. Well, he actually had that type of experience and called and said, hey, look, I was shitty. I'm sorry I was shitty. Please forgive me. Like, I will never be shitty like that again. It actually was never shitty like that. Like, literally, when I had to rethink and replay that whole thing, it made me feel like I was big as a little ant. Like, literally, like, holy hell. That's not okay to do that to somebody. It's not okay to manipulate the fact that I know you feel bad about something, so I'm going to rub it in. That's not okay, karmically or morally.
No, it's not.
It's just not.
It's
Either way.
definitely not okay. If you forgive somebody, then you do, and if you don't, then you don't. But what you don't do is pretend to forgive them only to rub it in their face to get things that you want because you know your feelings are not the same anymore.
And that's what I was doing. And I was doing it on a regular.
Right. That's definitely manipulative and causing a bad karmatic tie. And it could be right now being formed in this life, you know. But the good thing is that you're aware, so you're able to break it before it starts.
Yeah, I actually delved so deep
started
that I was
in the past life.
You know what? I want to tell you my theory. You know, you call it, what do you call it? Nickology. That Nickology theory. So I feel like me and this person were so connected. Like, if we had to be, I feel like, because you know, you know, everyone else doesn't know. Movies like Cloud Atlas and Where Dreams May Come are amazing movies to me because that's the belief system that I share as far as reincarnation and the Philistine prophecies. That follows more the belief system that I share as far as reincarnation, that we all have been different sexes, different races, different everything, and have multiple experiences. I feel that this individual is probably a person that I've had a lot of multiple experiences with, like it was me and them making hell or making a lot of hell. With that being said, I feel like that a lot of the suffering that we did was because of that. Because we went through some really creepy, weird stuff, like not normal type of suffering. I remember one time he asked me, he said, hey, have you ever been in a room full of dead bodies for a week? And I was like, whoa. But, I mean, needless to say, he was in the military. But, however, that's something creepy to have to experience, you know?
Right.
So, with that being said, I really feel like that if we would have kept this horrible pattern going, that it would have affected not only the rest of this existence, but our next existence. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, that shit got to stop. Maybe we've been going through weird shit forever because we've been doing weird shit forever. You know, and that was my own personal, you know, view. And I'm happy that I had somebody that was willing to help me work through that. You know, it wasn't like, you know, everybody doesn't have, and I had to think about that, you know. Everybody doesn't have that person where I'm like, hey, you know, I need to work through something. Can you do this for me? And they're like, sure. You know, like, okay.
I think people have exactly what they need, or attract around them at the moment. It's like a gossiper. They're never going to really have a certain type of friend. They're always going to have gossiping friends, because who else is going to be attracted to a gossiper but a gossiper?
Other than a gossiper.
So you have to know the laws of attraction. So if you feel like I got some good friends that really know how to listen, that's only because that's what you're delivering in the universe. What I tell people is stop delivering nastiness and expecting something different to come back to you. It does not work that way. That's not the way the universe works. It just doesn't. And when people say nice guys finish last, no, they don't. I think a lot of times people just don't pay attention. And they think of, okay, if he's getting all the women, then he's doing a good job, but they fail to realize that that man has AIDS. That man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things going on that you have no idea.
I can tell you, let me tell you what I do see.
Mm-hmm.
Because I worked in a nursing home for 21 years, no, I saw stuff like this. That dude that had all the chicks, when he got real sick and the money ran out, he didn't have anybody.
Had no one.
And he had nothing to wear. No one came to visit him anymore. It was just us.
There's no genuine love because he never put out genuine love. And so, therefore, there's none back in return. So when people like to celebrate, you know, what I call the assholes of this realm, because they feel like the assholes get everything they want, they're not really looking. The truth is,
Donovan,
the best thing you can do and get out of life is a smile, because it's the hardest thing to get out of this life. When we signed up to live this life, it's nothing but, like the Christian said, one big test. One big test over which way you going to be. Are you going to lean this way? Are you going to lean that way? Which way you going to be?
I feel like the true meaning, I feel like this is meant to be two things that people don't like, reflection and observation.
Mm-hmm.
You reflect on shit that you've done. You observe the good and the interesting, what you like, what you don't like, and you move on from there, period. Like, I think it's pretty much that simple.
It's like,
and I know that could be difficult for some people. I get it.
But it is,
like,
right, and that's what I'm trying to tell them, like, this is the way the universe works, because it is it's built on test, too. Like, if you keep proclaiming to be a spiritually sound individual, the universe will test that. And they will throw someone at you that's going to say things or, you know, to try to provoke you and irritate you and see how you deal with that.
You know what I went through.
Because
you
that
know
is
what I
what's
went through, too. You know what I went through. It was like I had a whole encounter with my old self, like, for real. And it was kind of creepy.
And
really.
That has to be, like, one of the most awesome experiences. Realistically, if somebody could just sit down and just light a candle and play some soft music, whatever it is that gets them in the mood to be in a serene space in their mind, and that, let's say they sit to get to that point where you serene and you start to come face to face with the many yous, and I say many yous, and people say, why you say many yous? Because
when I
we have
say
many parts of ourselves.
You know,
we have parts that are mean, we have parts that are nice, we have parts that are punk,
exactly.
parts
and when
that
I
are wild, you know what I'm saying?
It was so, I'm sitting here going, I have to be going crazy. I really did. It was like, it was very surreal, that to the point where when I finally was able to talk to you honestly about it, what did I say? I wish I would have went through it in Tibet, because at least the scenery would have been better. Because I knew it was a spiritual thing, because I really did face, like, addiction, literally. And it wasn't drug addiction, where I was a drug addict before. It was actually an addiction to something that I never wanted to be addicted to.
But in reality, it was just, to me, and this is my take on it, that was, you have been an addict, right, your whole life, whether it's an addict for attention, an addict for weed, an addict for, you know what I'm saying? The reality is, I always tell you, addictive personalities is addictive. That's what it is. There's really no change to that. It's just that what you do is you change what you're addicted to.
To me, it was, I think that was the last of the, how can I, the unhealthy addictions. How about that? It was the last of what could have turned into, because anything can turn unhealthy, because as we could see, me delving too deep and going overboard could have took me up out of here mentally. I really could have been in the mental ward somewhere.
Right.
So,
well, they say there's a thin line between, what do you call it, a baba, which is like a priestess, somebody who's into the spiritual realm, and schizophrenic.
It is.
And the reason
funny
why
thing
is
was
because
I never heard voices, and I never saw things. I never had hallucinations, and I never heard voices. It was like things just became weirdly kind of clear. It was
very mental. I got it. Like everything about your experience was like thinking, thought, super mental. I got it.
Super thinking, like overthinking, like overthinking to the 2700th power. It was complete overthought.
I would love to tell people that if they don't like certain things in their life, anything in your life you're capable of changing, unless it's growing a new arm. You know what I mean? Anything in your life.
Yep.
But even then, you're capable of learning how to maneuver without them.
Exactly.
So
We're
what I would say
adapting.
to the people, when you have, like, because a lot of us, like, that's not dealing with physical ailments, and we're dealing with just, like, mental, and most of us are just really broken mentally in this world. I think the first thing we need to do is learn ourselves, learn our triggers, learn why they're triggers. Why are they triggers? Somewhere in life that something happened that caused that to be your trigger. So I think when you start working through those pieces and parts of you and rebuilding yourself and what I call retraining the brain, that's the best thing in life that you could ever do for yourself, ever. Because from there, no one could ever bring you down. There's no such thing as I'm bored. Because how could you be bored when I'm spending time trying to figure out why I bite my fingernails? I'm spending time trying to figure out,
you know
some
what?
people might say.
I really agree with that. I remember one time you said, because, okay, well, let me explain to everyone our relationship dynamic. I'm the outgoing, friendly person. I love the world. Lee is very introverted and private. She has no new friends. Like, that's just it. Like, she's very private. She's like, look, I like to be to myself sometimes. Like, that's just her. I respect that. She knows that I'm all excitable and stuff, and she's like, hold on, Nick, I'm excited with you, but calm down. Let's talk about this. So, with all that being said, when it came down to that part, I now understand when you say I like playing in my head, because I do. I like working through shit now. Like, I'm not afraid of it anymore. Where I was afraid to confront certain things or acknowledge certain things, now I'm like, okay, so why is that? Why do I feel uncomfortable doing this? Why do I do that? So I question everything. I think that's what we're supposed to do. Okay. How about we take, because we've been on for 38 minutes, and actually we have that song in the queue that you like, and I do like that song. Open My Heart. You want to hear it? You feel like hearing it? I think it's a dope song to hear.
I love that song, actually.
Okay.
It's a very positive song.
So we're going to hear that song, and then we'll come back and talk some more about some more good stuff. Pretty much.
Right on.
Okay, great.